Hi everyone, it's Savannah here, and today I wanted to talk to you about my GCSEs because they're a thing quite a lot of kids in the UK will have to do, and I know that they were really stressful for me when I did them, so I just wanted to talk a bit about my experience with them and the grades I got and why I think I got those grades. So I did GCSEs in English, Maths, Chemistry, Biology, Physics, Religious Studies, French, Drama and IT. And it's quite funny that I struggle to remember what my GCSEs were when back then they were such a big and important part of my life and I was stressing out a lot over them. So in my previous videos I spoke about how I was failing at maths, and it was during my GCSEs that I improved and I really found a love for maths. But a similar thing actually happened in my science subjects as well. So I was awful at chemistry. I was getting Fs in the tests and things, and I didn't even think the scale went down to F. I was really bad, and I was similarly bad at biology and physics as well. But in the end I ended up getting A's in maths, biology, chemistry and physics. And I'll talk a bit about how I think I managed to do that once I finish going through my grades. English and religious studies were always my best subjects. I got A stars in both of those, and yeah, I was lucky. I didn't have to worry about English much at all. I did really well in all the components of it. Boasting a bit there. And I also did French, and at the time I really didn't like French at all, and I found the speaking assessment we had to do in French really difficult, because we basically just wrote and had to memorise 3 pages of French, and it doesn't make sense to me why we had to memorise it. Like, we're being ranked on our speaking, you know. I just hated memorising all that, and it made me like quite upset about French, and I didn't really gel well with it at all at GCSE. But now I love French. I love learning languages. French is a language I'd love to become fluent in someday. And yeah, I think it would be really different if I sat my French GCSE again, because I really enjoy it now. But in the end, in my French GCSE I got a B, which wasn't bad. I can't remember what I got in all the components, but in every single one of my final exams that I sat in that summer, I got A's and above in every single one. But it was the coursework that let me down in some of them, which I'll get on to now. So, drama, yeah. Drama was an interesting one. The problem is with drama that you often have to like stay at school after school, and it then ended up taking me ages to get home because of how far away I live from school. So in that sense I think that actually makes drama quite inaccessible to students like me who had to travel quite far, and my parents were working in the evenings. They couldn't, you know, they found it quite difficult to pick me up when I was staying late at school. So in that sense drama wasn't great for me. And the other reason drama wasn't great for me was because of the group work as well we had to do, and I liked my groups I was in, but group work, you know, it's just it's group work, isn't it? I remember we were going to do a play in front of the examiner person. We were going to do a short play in Irish accents, and 2 of us in the group could do Irish accents but the other girl couldn't. Which, I mean, accents are hard anyway, but it was a bit annoying because I think just how people mark drama exams and stuff, if you're doing an accent then they'll just tend to mark you higher. But we didn't do accents and stuff, but we did work hard on it. But yeah, I don't know, maybe it was my acting. And I ended up getting a B overall in drama. I got like B and C's in the practicals, and then I got A's in the final exams. And that evened out at a B. And then my last one was IT, which is just like, it's like computing but without the hard computer science bit. So what did we have to do? We had to like make our own website and things. It was that sort of stuff. So all the stuff you can do with computers that isn't coding, that's what I'd say IT was. And IT was absolutely my fault because I just don't think I put enough effort in. I enjoyed the lessons. I don't know why I didn't, thinking back on it. But doing the coursework and things, which accounted for in total 60% of the grade, I don't know. So that was on me, and I think I got a B and a D in the courseworks, and then I got A's or A stars in the final exams, and it evened out at a C. So yeah, I didn't do well at all in that. Maybe I got C's and D's. So looking back, I think I didn't really understand like much at the time. I saw GCSEs as a bit annoying with all the hoop jumping. I felt like we weren't being tested properly in a lot of things. I was quite angsty, I think, and rebellious. So I didn't gel well with my GCSE subjects at all. And I got good grades. I mean, overall they are good grades, but if I had done them again now, I would have tried a lot harder, I think. I think I would have gotten much better grades, not just because I know more, but because I just would have cared more about the subjects I was studying, because I didn't really care for chemistry or French or anything like that, but now I'm happy to learn anything, so my mindset's definitely changed. One thing that was a really big part in changing my mindset was someone saying to me she worked hard at her chemistry GCSE even though she knew she never wanted anything to do with chemistry, because her reasoning was an A star in chemistry or a 9, or you know, whatever it is you have now. An A star in chemistry is never going to disadvantage you, but say a U might, you know, an F might disadvantage you in chemistry at some point in the future, but you'll never be held back if you get really good grades and everything. And that completely changed my mindset about it. So looking back, yeah, it would have gone a lot differently. I would have picked different GCSEs as well. The last thing is I'll give tips on how I went from failing all my science GCSEs to getting pretty solid grades in them, and I think this is applicable even to the new spec, or you could even apply it to other subjects. But what I did was I printed out the exact specification of each science GCSE, and it's quite easy to find online, and it's quite clear what it is you need to know. I literally just printed it out, then I searched up each topic on BBC Bitesize. I made flashcards and I just made sure that I learnt each topic, you know, I made notes on each topic, made flashcards on each topic, and then I just ticked them off. And then I'd get to the end and I'd do past papers, and that pulled my grade up in a matter of weeks. I literally went from F to A in about 3 weeks by doing that. So, would recommend. I think I'm losing my voice. So yeah, it's interesting thinking back on my GCSEs, what I'd done differently, which subjects I'd have picked differently. When I was picking my GCSE subjects, I couldn't have foreseen how much my mindset would change. So yeah, my GCSEs were interesting. They were a very interesting part of my academic life. It was the first proper big exams you do, and I didn't take it well, but I pulled it together at the last minute and got alright grades. And yeah, I wanted this to be a message of hope if you're doing your GCSEs. I just want it to be a bit of hope. I don't want it to be like me sitting on my privileged high horse being like, oh, if I can do it, you can too. But everything that I did use to succeed in my GCSEs was just free stuff online. And I do want you to feel like you can do it and you can get there. GCSEs aren't meant to be impossible. They're meant to be so that any of us can get an A star in it, or a 9 or an 8. You know, they're made to be doable. And so you can do it. Let me know what you thought of my tale. If you've got any similar GCSE tales you think might help people, then pop them down below. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.